Hey guys, Narc Armor back with another one. Guys, I wanted to chat a little bit today about how the narcissist never really thought that you were going to wise up and up and leave. They were never counting on that to ever happen. Frankly, they never thought that you would muster up the courage, get the clarity that you needed to be able to say, you know what? Enough's enough. I'm not going to take this nonsense anymore. I'm going to acknowledge the fact that this is toxic. And I'm going to move on, not necessarily knowing what the future entails, but I'm going to move on to refocus on myself, take the lessons learned, reflect on the other things that you didn't see, the red flags that we all flew by, and take the time to really understand what it was we were dealing with. That narcissist was shocked that you had the audacity to get up and say, you know what? Click, clack, that's a wrap, right? You weren't sticking around for no more of the chaos, BS, nonsense that they were throwing on you. And if they weren't doing it, their flying monkeys were being complicit in it, right? And you packed up all of that nonsense and said, yep, we're done here. That's a wrap. And they frankly went into panic mode. In most cases, they went into panic mode wanting to, you know, uh, get you to change your mind, get you to stay, demonstrate some sort of behaviors that, would be conducive to you thinking about retracting your decision. But the reality is, you and a lot of us who have gotten out of these situationships and or even distanced ourselves from family members or what have you, we've come to the realization that we cannot be and will not be treated in a disrespectful way. And obviously, when you're dealing with a narcissist, there's just levels to the disrespect. Okay? But there's no point, and there was never any point, right? And if they were triangulating you, which most narcissists do, and the reality is that most narcissist abuse victims tend to catch on when you're getting into kind of the discard, post-discard phase anyway. And so you realize that you were always kind of alone in this situation. You were always, finding yourself really alone, left having to kind of try to understand what the heck just happened, let alone why it happened, and what you were going to do about it and how you were going to move on from it. These are the things that, you have to kind of take a step back again and reflect on and unpack the magnitude of the things in the you know the levels of abuse that they inflicted on you, um, to also discern like where do you need to focus on your armor, your boundaries and defense mechanisms that you're going to live by, those principles that you're going to live by. Because when you get further down the road and realize what you were dealing with and realize the level of unhealthiness and toxicity that you were contending with, it becomes very clear that it was, I wouldn't even say functional at best, it was more manageable. Just more managed. You managed the situation, and again, this could be any type of relationship, but you managed it for as long as you could until you couldn't anymore, until it didn't make sense, until it took a toll on you, until it affected your health and your well-being and your mental sanity and clarity. And they weren't banking on you going for the door, but you did. You went to the door and you shut it and you locked it and you double triple locked it, and then you walked away. And the other thing, that as you learn and reflect on things, you realize that you really settled for something. If it was a relationship, situationship, you settled for something far beneath your worth, far beneath what it is that you deserve. And you have to be the one to really come to grips with the fact that not only was it below you, the reality is you deserve so much better. I like to kind of think about it. I'll tell you guys a quick story. It's kind of just an analogy for this. Once upon a time, I bought a car. It was used, but it was like in the broader family, and I bought this car as an SUV, and it was a reliable brand. I'm not going to name the brand just because I'm not sponsored, right? But it was a reliable brand. You would think that this SUV would be pretty decent, thing to run for good, and get some serious years out of it, and get some serious mileage out of it, have kind of it be more of a lower maintenance vehicle. Couldn't be anything further from the truth, right? It much like a narcissist, it kind of masked a lot of problems behind the facade of this brand that made you think that it was going to be something reliable, and it was anything but. And, just as we dealt with these narcissists, the day came where I said, enough's enough. It's just, can't keep pouring money into something that's not going to be, giving you the longevity and the use that you need out of it, right? It's not reciprocating, right? Just like the narcissist never reciprocated. And so, push come to shove, it was time to just dump it, right? And when I was getting ready, and that was my only car at the time, so I was like thinking, okay, well, if I'm gonna dump it, I need a car. Let me start shopping around. Let me start looking around, and lo and behold, I start to realize that there are much better cars, comparably priced, proven, really good reliability, et cetera, et cetera. And it was kind of like, well, duh. Why didn't I do this sooner? Why did I wait for things to constantly break and pour money into this other vehicle? And it was just kind of this bottomless pit of, of a car, of a situation, right? Much like it was with the narcissist. And so, there was a lack of reciprocity and usability and and just the dynamic there, much like with the narcissist. And so when I made the decision to make the pivot, and I went and I, simultaneously was getting another car, but I had done my research really, really in depth, right? and I knew what I wanted because I had seen what didn't work. Right? I saw what didn't work. I saw why it didn't work. I saw what I did to contribute to the problems, and being complicit with just continuing to throw money at something that was not going to be, it just wasn't going to work. Just like you poured not just your money but your resources, if it's a marital relationship or long-term relationship situationship, you poured in everything, right? Your emotional, so you gave and gave, and you didn't get the fulfillment out of it, but then you came away with, this is what I think I need for this to be able to ever work if I were to ever come across somebody who's going to be, you know, aligned with the values and things, right, that are important in having a healthy, meaningful, long lasting relationship where both individuals are pouring into it, committed. And so that's really kind of the gist of it, guys, is that, as I pivoted to this other car, it's been kind of really the polar opposite of what I had experienced in the past. And so I really thought I wanted to also share, right? I think for all of us, at some point, once you've gone on your healing journey and you're at a place where, you're in a better place in life, and you're thinking, well, maybe I'd love to find somebody who's actually real and authentic, etc. I think that that's very plausible. I think that I think you have to come to kind of that realization, like I was saying in this analogy with the whole car situation. I was like, I know I can go get something better. It's time to it's time to take those lessons forward and go and find that better situation. In this case, it would be obviously somebody who would be, a really good fit for you. And so the narcissist, was never counting on that. They never thought that you would ever realize your worth, let alone, find somebody who might value you, like really truly value you and appreciate you for who you are and what you bring, and the morals and the values and the ethics and the integrity that you represent and the respect that you provide them, and it's just it's a good reminder, to understand that there are others who are like you and us and, this community, where we want, right, to be balanced with like-minded individuals, right? And so, I kind of had this on my heart today to share with you, because I was just kind of reflecting, and I thought, the narcissist never really thought that you would realize your value. And when you did, that's when, all their plans and their, toxic matrix, fuel matrix collapsed on top of them. And, when you got out of there, and somebody values you, boy, that's going to be a sight to see, for that narcissist to watch. So, guys, I hope I hope this resonates with you. I hope you understand that, yes, it's hard getting out of it. Yes, you may have invested a lot in this individual or these individuals or their family, but there's always a better side to things. And if it was a family relative situation, your peace, you're nothing beats your peace, right, that you gain. And so that's your other side to this. If you're in that situation where you get to kind of reflect and focus on yourself and focus on the things that are important for you in your life. Thanks again, guys, for watching. I hope this message resonated, and please share, like, and subscribe. And as always, take care of yourselves, stay armored up, work on those boundaries, reflect on those learnings that you got coming out of that narcissistic entrapment, and and really study them to make sure that you're preparing yourself for how you deal with situations in life that may come up where you may face off with a narcissist, and you know how to navigate those situations. Until next day, until next time, guys, take care.